Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to go through the product development process because we are releasing the very first brand new product of 2023. It is our wedding planner that I designed based on my own experience planning my wedding. So I'm really excited to show you guys every step of the way through that process and also show you exactly what choices I made for the wedding planner and what it looks like on the inside. It's pretty much inspired by my wedding through and through. So it's very personal to me, but I also designed it to be gender neutral and to be very free form so that anybody could use it and don't feel like boxed into any traditions that don't work with their life or their vision for their wedding. So I put a ton of thought into this and I'm so excited to share with you how it all came together. So the print for the wedding planner is the print that I designed for my own wedding. I was inspired by a bouquet of dried flowers that Taryn got me for Valentine's Day last year, and I loved it so much, and I thought that I wanted to do dried flowers at my wedding, and I decided not to for a variety of reasons, mainly because I would have had to mostly DIY it, and I was really worried that I was gonna like hate what I created for myself. But I ended up still sticking obviously with this print, and it became the theme of my wedding and the color palette. And I designed it on my iPad, and then I just took that file, I made it a repeating pattern so I could print it on any sort of fabric that I wanted to, and it's become kind of a staple print within EBD. But it all started for my save the dates. I designed all of the inside pages that are at the beginning of the wedding planner on my iPad. This is the table of contents that you can see here, and it includes a heading for each of the tabs that's in the wedding planner, and then underneath are some topics that you need to consider when planning a wedding. So I spent a lot of time talking to friends who had recently planned a wedding or had been maid of honor in several weddings, and they helped me come up with a lot of these categories. But I also spent a lot of time trying to make sure that all the language I was using was gender neutral and could work for any style of wedding. So for example, under the reception, instead of putting dinner, I put main meal because I know some people have a brunch wedding. Or for all of the attire and hair and makeup, I just made that tab titled looks, which was kind of a hard word to come up with. I didn't know how to describe like all of that in one, but I landed on choosing looks, and underneath that I just have outfits. I didn't want to do like suits and dresses because not everybody has those. And so I tried to keep that all very neutral. I also included batch parties instead of bachelor and bachelorette party. That's what I did for my wedding, was one joint batch party. So that tab was super useful. And then I also included a other events tab, and that was for any weddings that have anything else going on, like a brunch the next day with all of the guests, or if it's a destination wedding, maybe you have excursions that you're going on together with the guests. I know for my wedding, we're gonna be at the estate we're getting married on for 4 nights. So there's lots of other events planned, and I've been using that tab a lot myself. So I really wanted to make sure this planner covered all of the bases without having anything that you simply wouldn't use, and without having anything that boxed you into any sort of gendered or like religious traditions or anything like that. I wanted to make sure this would work for everybody. So when I originally decided on what I wanted this product to be, I had to look around for a couple different manufacturers. I decided to compare their capabilities. I went with one that was really high end and really high quality. And so that's why I landed on the manufacturer that I went with. And I also wanted to make sure that this was a fully paper product that had no plastic packaging. So that was another part of doing the keepsake box along with the planner. I really liked the idea of having the box be its own thing that can be used for saving really important mementos, but it also was great because it helped having very little plastic packaging on the planner and guest book itself. So In all, there's only one poly bag that's involved, which is really great because a lot of paper products end up coming with a ton of plastic packaging, which is really unfortunate. Something else that I knew I wanted in this planner that helped me choose a manufacturer was I wanted to have a paper pocket in the back, and this manufacturer that I worked with was able to make that happen, and the pocket is just bound in. And then I also decided to do a coordinating rose gold sticker sheet set. So there's 4 sticker sheets in here, and there's 2 of each design. And I thought those would be really fun to scatter throughout the planner and keep the rose gold foil continuous. Another thing I had to consider when choosing a manufacturer was the fact that I ended up choosing rose gold for the foiling and the coil. That's not available for every manufacturer, so that was something that definitely factored into my decision making, and it was a deal maker for me for sure because I thought the rose golds looked really, really nice with this print, so it wasn't something that I could compromise on. The wedding planner all started out as an email that I sent way back in, gosh, over a year ago now, like December of 2021. And I had a bunch of ideas for it. I wanted it to be 7 by 9 inches, hardcover, gold coil, pocket in the back. And then I had laid out all of the tabs that I wanted, what the first few pages were gonna be. And I sent this all over to the manufacturer I wanted to work with, along with the file that I wanted to have on the front cover. So this is where it all started, but after I sent all of this in, I then got mock-ups, and after that I got a sample. So these are some of the first mock-ups we got sent over. Obviously things changed quite a lot. We changed the look of the box and we changed some of the sizing on these items, but I originally knew that I wanted to do a wedding planner with a matching box and a guest book, and this was kind of what we were starting with. This is a closer look at the mock-up on the guest book. This is an even earlier mock-up. You can kind of see the tabs over here, and this is how the sample ended up looking. This is what the inside print was going to be. I wanted to do black on the outside and a blush background on the inside. And then we also had options for the texture of the cover, so it could have had like a vegan leather texture, or it could have been glossy. I ended up going with a matte smooth texture that kind of feels pretty soft, but it's still made from paper. And then this was the mock-up for the tabs on the inside. So we had a lot of things that we were working from, and it changed a little bit, but not too crazy. After I confirmed all the specs, got all the mock-ups, and gave my feedback on those, then we got the sample. I still kept it on hand because I wanted to make sure that the final product that we got matched the samples in all of the ways that it was supposed to match, and then the changes that were made were ultimately made for the final product. When going through this sample, the first thing that I noticed that I wanted to change was you kind of open it up, and I had wanted to have the cover have a black background and the inside have a blush background, but the colors were way too saturated on the inside cover. So that was something I immediately knew I wanted to change. The texture of the planner on the outside is a different paper than the paper that's on the inside, so that different paper materials can cause the printing to come out differently, and the saturation and other like aspects of the way the color prints can be different depending on the type of material. So that was the first thing that I noticed. And then, like I mentioned before, the tabs had to change. They originally had the outline in rose gold on those, so I decided to switch from that. And then something that I actually changed in the mock-up phase was, instead of doing a gold coil like I originally wanted to, I switched to rose gold because I thought it meshed with all of the really warm pink hues on the pattern really well. So all of the foil printing and metallic and the coil is all rose gold instead of what I originally thought, which was going to be gold. after I got the sample, I approved it and gave all of my changes, and then we started the full production. So I got 1,000 of these printed. I also got 1,000 matching guest books printed, and then obviously I have the keepsake box as well. So overall there were 3,000 units of items, and then the wedding planner and the keepsake box are one product together. But once we started the mass production, I think it took maybe about a month to fully get through the whole lot. And then before it was shipped, they sent me one advanced sample so that I could review and make sure everything was perfect before we invested a lot of money to send all of the stuff over, because I think we received 4 pallets when we actually got the delivery. And so shipping was very expensive. It weighed, I think, about 4,000 pounds total to get all of the products in. So when I got that advanced sample, I flipped through it, everything looked perfect, and it looks exactly like the final product that we landed on. So there were no changes from the advanced sample to the final product. Overall, it took from conception to delivery about 8 months to develop this product. It probably could have been a lot faster, but I took a long time to get all of the files and pages just right. So I think if I had really tried to go super fast, it maybe could have taken like 5 months. But still a very extensive process. And you know, when you're investing a lot of time and a lot of cost into everything, including, you know, just the shipping, when you think about it like that, you have to make sure that everything is right and you're double checking everything. So it took a while, but I'm so happy with how the final product turned out, and I'm really excited to see it and then also to use it for my wedding.